Hello gang, welcome back to another AC 130 sports video. Today I want to talk about Baker Mayfield. As a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I can say that what has transpired over the last couple months with Baker is nothing short of hilarious. I think for the most part he has earned and kind of earned the treatments that the Browns gave him based off his play, his actions, some of his inconsistencies. But I must say, I am starting to feel bad for Baker a little bit. I still think when healthy, he probably is a top 15 to 20 quarterback guy in the league. I think if you put him on Tennessee, instead of Ryan Tannehill when healthy, that, they probably go a little farther in the playoffs last year. Is everything, all the criticism, that's being thrown at Baker warranted? Absolutely not. But when you're a little, immature off the field and your performance on the field is as bad as it was last year, these type of things are going to happen to you, especially when, the next best option was a Deshaun Watson. His actions off the field, Deshaun's are horrific. This guy should be in jail as far as I'm concerned. But, on the field, he is just a far better football player than Baker Mayfield. But how did the Browns get here? I mean, John Dorsey drafts him number one overall. Behind him are still Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. I guess Lamar Jackson was still a little bit of a stretch at number one overall, but look what he's become. And Josh Allen, I mean, Mel Kiper Jr. was on him from the start. He said the Browns should draft him number one overall. He's tall, talented. They didn't need Josh Allen to come in and be great right away either, right? The year before that, they go 0-16. So they were still a long ways off from becoming a playoff team. Imagine that Browns roster with Josh Allen last year and the year before, 2 years ago. I mean, they're probably the best team in the league, might have a Super Bowl already. So, I got to give John Dorsey some credit. He didn't draft Sam Darnold, which is looking like one of the worst draft picks in NFL history, an absolute bust. But still, just a little questionable draft pick at number one overall for a guy that's 6 foot, doesn't have a great arm, can't really move well. Really didn't have any special tendencies that would make you say, hey, that guy's going to go number one overall. I guess maybe his accuracy in college. Really have not seen that transition into the NFL. So I don't really know what, let's start there. I think a poor draft pick by John Dorsey, but, year one, rookie season, I think he breaks the rookie, touchdown passing record, didn't play the first 4 or 5 games, showed some promise. They make the wrong coaching hire with Freddie Kitchens. And, that second year with Odell and, that roster was significantly improved. There was people picking them as a dark horse Super Bowl team. Leads the league in interceptions, played horrible. I watched some film on him in that second season a couple weeks ago and just never gone to a rhythm, right? Freddie Kitchens was obviously the wrong hire. Baker, vouched for him, which is, the first mistake Baker made of a long list, by the way. But just never got it going that second year. Really a tough watch that second year were the Cleveland Browns. But then that third year, right, they beat the Steelers in the playoff game. Baker down the stretch. I know Skip Bayless loves to throw. The last 11 games of the year, he was number 3 on PFF, quarterbacks. Okay, they won a lot of, tight ball games. I think they led the league that year in wins by less than 1 score. So, there were some games in there where Baker didn't play great. They didn't ask him to do much. Stefanski and his new offense, that outside zone run play complemented the play action very well. So, I think in terms of, Baker in that third year, it was really hard to screw up. I mean, he somehow did last year because he was injured, but people make it seem like he was making these, incredible throws and, Aaron Rodgers back shoulder throws. That wasn't the case, right? Nick Chubb was averaging 100 and some yards a game and Kareem Hunt was giving you 70. You have the best offensive line in football. And then, you could play action whenever you want. You could hit your tight ends in the flat. You could hit Jarvis Landry and OBJ, on those deeper, medium to deep routes. So, Baker had it very, very well, and I think that's why Deshaun Watson's going to do very, very well in Cleveland. I don't know if Deshaun necessarily fits that Cleveland offense. He moves around a little bit more, but hey, those bootlegs, maybe Stefanski will adjust a little bit. But back to Baker Mayfield, I mean, last year it was the icing on the cake for the Browns, right? He was already immature. There's some rumors swirling that they offered him a $30 million contract. I guess that actually wasn't the case. If it was and Baker didn't take it, he's out of his damn mind because he's not worth that money even when he's healthy. I think you could find a lot of replacements for Baker in that Browns offense. Last year, I mean, this just goes to show you, if you're injured, don't play. You're you're costing yourself money. I mean, these NBA guys, they don't play in double headers, back-to-back nights. They take rest breaks, rest injury breaks, but it's really just for rest. Like you gotta take care of your body, especially in a contact sport, especially at quarterback. I know everyone's saying, "Oh, he's a competitor. He wanted to get after it. He, never backs down from a challenge." Bro, you had a bad knee, you had a torn up shoulder, you had a torn up ankle. You didn't play up to par. Unfortunately, that affected what the Browns thought of you. The missing interviews and not talking to the media after games didn't help. Any time Baker got in front of the media, it really didn't help his cause. His wife didn't help his cause, attacking some of his teammates and whatnot, and some of the Cleveland Browns fans. I know Odell was smart to get up out of there. Look what happened when he got with Matt Stafford, catching touchdown passes left and right. How in the hell could Baker not find this guy? I think it's, partly on Baker. I think it has to be partly on Stefanski too. And, OBJ just didn't want to be there, and you can't blame him. But, I mean, to go back to my original point, I do feel bad for Baker a little bit. I think he is a little better than he's being perceived right now. Like I said, if you throw him on the Tennessee Titans with that running game, I think you can make some things happen. I think he's Ryan Tannehill-esque. Tannehill's a lot taller than him, a little more athletic, but I think Baker probably throws a prettier football than him. So he's right in that range, like Tua. You probably take Baker over Tua. Baker throws a better deep ball than Tua. Tua now has, two of the fastest receivers in the NFL, and Waddle and Hill. So I think the Dolphins would probably take Tua, probably take Baker. But that's where Baker is, just middle, 15 to 20 starting quarterback in this league. You got to feel bad for him a little bit, man. He was probably, honestly, just sitting out this whole year. If he got injured game 2 and he sat out the whole year or got surgery and came back and played late in the year, probably still a Cleveland Brown. The Browns probably don't go out and get Deshaun Watson. But, the immaturity, the, inconsistency on the field, you can't blame the Browns. And as a Steelers fan, it made me happy to see him fail, but now we got to face Deshaun Watson twice a year, Lamar Jackson twice a year, and Joe Burrow twice a year. So pray for us Steelers fans. Hopefully Mike Tomlin has a plan. But in terms of where Baker could go, I still think Seattle would be a good fit. I definitely would take him over Drew Lock. No questions asked. I think Drew Lock is another probably bust type prospect, a little athletic, more athletic than Baker, but still not who you want to start a franchise around. I think Seattle, and I think he actually would fit at the Lions pretty good. I think his mentality with Dan Campbell would mesh well together. They're kind of 1A and 1B, those two, just real fiery, bite your kneecap off type guy. And the Lions know what they have in Jared Goff. It has to be perfect. I think, you could start fresh with, a younger Baker, and it would probably go a little better for you. Probably would fit the city a little better, but other than that, I don't know. Yeah, the Carolina Panthers are probably going to get a young QB. Texans seem to be going with Davis Mills. Indy found their guy in Matt Ryan. So we'll see what happens, Baker. I don't know. I think you brought a lot of this on yourself, but at the end of the day, I do feel bad for you a little bit. Just a little. But thanks for catching up with us, guys. We will see you on the next one.